Hey, welcome back, Visions fans. It's Ready Player Will here, back with another character review. Today we're doing Christmas Vinera, otherwise known as Winter Vinera. An interesting character, definitely way more niche than I think I would have liked for your typical character. She does have a use, just probably not in the grand scheme of things, but it's very interesting conceptually to talk about her, to think about potential uses and where she actually fits. So, let's jump into it. She is an Earth unit, which overall, that class of elements could use a little help. You're talking Kilf and Ryu are really the two most popular ones you see. Eileen and Ketone are just kind of thrown by the wayside. So this is nice that we get another Earth unit at least. Job-wise, Pugilist, Ninja, Spellblade. Really unique combination here. The Spellblade class is really the thing that makes her pop. It's the critical job to what she brings to the table. The ninja job, in my opinion, is purely just around out her stats in terms of agility and luck. And Pugilist is there, obviously, just for some niche attack styles, particularly against magic comps, where a lot of them are weak to strike. The weapon is Fist, Hat, Cloth Accessory, Move of 3, Jump of 2. I like the jump. You're going to need it to obviously traverse the terrain as quick as possible. And we're going to get into why this is all important. From a resistance standpoint, the thing that's interesting about her, she's 15% strong against magic, 10% to slash, and to me, those are the two that you're really going to be going against. You're not going to look for anything else. So this missile attack weakness of 15% is pretty critical, and the 10% weakness to pierce, also pretty critical. So these are two very potent attack types in the game, and Vinera, I don't even think you want to consider her if you see one of those two on the enemy team. Overall status effect, 50% confusion's nice. That's a pretty popular effect nowadays. Immobilize is actually really good, because if she got immobilized, she's completely fucked and useless. So that's actually a really nice thing in her kit, that she will not be stuck in place. So getting into the stats about her, and then we'll kind of wrap it up into why it caters to who she is. Evasion wise, she is a member of an evade comp. That's what she is. Now, I wouldn't call her an evade unit, because she doesn't have any actual abilities that like boosts evasion, like Illusion or Ututsemi or stuff like that. So she is above average. She does have a fair amount of luck compared to average, which is a good thing. It obviously helps for evasion, but also will help in her accuracy. And the agility of 60, in my opinion, really, really important, because if you look at the more popular, we'll call them hate-generating characters on this list that are 60 plus, there's really none, or very slim pickings, one or two. So the fact that she's a speedy, hate-generating character is important. That she can traverse with the jump of 2. She doesn't get immobilized. The job here is really to get out front early, proc the hate, and to do what she's meant to do, which we'll see in a second. The accuracy, actually fairly awful. So the luck stat is nice, but the dexterity stat is trash. 181 dexterity compared to 196. The thing is, that ends up putting her below average for regular accuracy. She does have a passive from the Pugilist job that buffs it by 20%. If you put that on, it does make her a top 5 accurate character without any external help, which is nice. But you're going to see in a second, there's honestly, it may not be the best mix of passives for her, so you're really putting in a big trade-off there. Overall, the role. This is the important thing. It's going to explain everything you need to know about the character. She fits well in evade comps due to the hate generation, which can tank holy and unevadable pain in place of other evade units. That is the absolute critical thing she does, plain and simple. So when you're talking about like an evade comp, what can counter you? It's either A, better evade comps where you can't hit them at all, and typically they'll have a better chance to hit you. That's counter number 1. Counter number 2 is guaranteed hits, and you can either do it one of two ways. Guaranteed hits via the missile attacks like the gunners have, which Vinera stinks against, so that's out. And then number 2, guaranteed magic attacks, wholly unevadable pain. You're talking who has that? It's like Ayaka, Kilf, Rosa, Sakura has unevadable pain. So the idea is, if you typically went into a battle and someone on the enemy team had a magic guaranteed hit attack, you're kind of fucked. Your Vinera or Stern are getting one shot by that almost every single time. Now that you have a Christmas Vinera that can proc the magic hate early, your evade units are not going to be hit by those, at least not for quite some time. So the idea is that Vinera brings a unique thing to evade comps where you can't get countered by magical units on the other side like that anymore. Physical counters on the other side, this isn't going to do anything. But yeah, it's a very specific niche. The only other thing I want to mention, because I don't like talking about the future because power creep is just the nature of the game. But her X form does bring two unique things that changes who she is as a character, in my opinion. The first is a huge evade boost, which does makes her like an actual like evade candidate unit, more so than it is now, where you don't really consider her evasion part of her kit. It's just an attribute about her overall. And the second thing, she has a healing down ability, which the Yuna meta is going to need to counter. So if you're talking about like Yuna, who is a very powerful magic user and healer, so Christmas Vinera is a magic tank in theory, and has a healing down ability in the future that's going to help mitigate what Yuna does. So it's worth mentioning that if you're going to invest in her now, you're probably going to get some use of her in the future, probably more than you would see now, to be honest. So that's why I put it in here. From the class and job overview, you're going to kind of see everything put into practice here now. So flurry enhancement number 1, this is the accuracy boost here. It's a critical skill to make sure she can hit anything. But if you put this on, you obviously sacrifice the opportunity to equip 2 of the following, which I honestly like better. So the first one is the increase to agility and luck. It's going to make her faster, proc hate earlier, get more turns in the fight. The luck's going to make her more evasive. The luck's going to make her a smidge more accurate, but not ton more accurate. So that's a great one. Warrior Spirit, more HP, more attack, so she's going to hit harder. She's going to be a little bulkier. Obviously, the attack is dependent upon if she can hit the person at all, so that's another convo. And the Providence of Lightning adds magic resistance and the lightning resist, but really the magic resistance, that 12%. If you really wanted to be a stalwart magic tank, you kind of want this as well. You just need it, but it helps. So to me personally, I would have loved to equip 2 of the 3 middle ones instead. The thing with Flurry Counter, and here's the problem I've had overall. When I first saw this on Raldor, I was super excited because moving into it, when you upgrade this ability, it goes to a 50% chance to proc, which is very high. It's a very potent ability, 165% modifier. It's a double hit, which means there's the potential that she can chain with herself, where if you hit someone and then get a turn, bam, a third hit. So I liked all of those things. The problem I have is that you need the unit to be adjacent to you, right? And when you're talking about Vinera, if your intent is to go against teams that are magic heavy, they're not going to be standing right next to her. So the odds that there's going to be a kill right next to you bonking you on the head and you're going to double hit her with the flurry counter is pretty low. Obviously, like, not every character on the enemy team is a magic user, so this probably will still help against some of the tanks or more melee DPS, but like, I don't know. It's tough to use a passive for an ability that you're not going to use a ton. When in the back pocket you have Magic Guard, which reduces magic damage taken, which she's a magic tank, you're going to want her to do. So, my opinion, I think Magic Guard might be the better of the two, but you kind of need Flurry. You kind of need Flurry enhancement for the accuracy, and if you're going to put that on, like, maybe consider putting on Flurry Counter so you can get the full utility of that passive. Then again, if you never use it, you're getting no utility anyway. So, really got to play around with that. The Pugilist job, the weakness to this job, it's supremely short range, way more than I'd like it to be. And honestly, strike damage doesn't hit as hard as I thought it was going to. I know there's not a lot of strike resistance in the game, so I thought this was just going to like blow things out of the water a little bit, and it just doesn't. At least not from what I've seen with Raldor. It's good, it's just not great. And it might be great for Raldor, but I don't think it's that good for Vinera. And, we'll get into it more. So shifting strike is important because it obviously gets her closer in range to the enemies, separates her from the team, so gets her out of the way of the AoE magic that you might see coming your way. Iron Body Stance I actually do like because the 15 defense is pretty critical to kind of rounding her out so that she doesn't get blown over by any like simple melee attacks or physical attacks. Human Killer obviously is nice, and it's kind of an AoE where it hits 2 squares, so that's a good thing. Demon Purger is a brawl style attack, whereas the fight goes on, this will get stronger. So hypothetically, this could actually be really potent, where if she's taking a lot of magic attacks, she's gonna kick the shit out of him later on in the fight, but when you're running an evade comp, you typically don't want the fight to go on long. So this is kind of counter to how you normally want your evade comp to run. Evade comps, you want to like kill things quickly because as time goes on, RNG becomes less of your friend, where illusion wears off. And, if the enemy only has a 20% chance to hit you, well, if they only get 1 attempt, it's only 20% chance, but if they get 3 attempts, it's more attempts, it's more chances to get hit. So this doesn't really fit, in my opinion, in the philosophy of how you want your evade comp to run, but it's not a bad ability. And the Pugilist Mastery is okay. My only problem is this makes the AI do weird things sometimes, where you're going to be applying strike attack up to teammates who probably don't need it, and if her job is to tank and be on the front line, you don't want her running backward at weird times to go find a teammate. So it's okay, but like doesn't really contribute to her role as well as I would have liked. And the sub job, It's kind of lackluster, and honestly, this does nothing because you can't proc hate using the sub job. So the breathing technique is okay. I personally like the Pugilist with low faith because they don't really have any status effects. They don't really do anything that requires a lot of high faith. And if you're going to be taking magic hits, you might as well take less damage from them. Although hypothetically, like, if you're anticipating some physical attacks hitting you and you want your healer to be able to really heal you, you're going to need high faith because the high faith is going to allow for more healing, but obviously is also going to open her up to taking more magic damage. So I think the goal is to obviously build the resistance of magic up enough that it's not going to matter if you have high faith, at the trade-off that you'll be able to get healed more. Obviously, this will help also Vinera potentially sustain herself, but I'm talking too much about it because you're not going to use it as a magic tank. You're not going to have this job on. And the same idea, Spirit Breaker is okay, but it's a brawl thing where as the fight goes on, it gets stronger. Decreased attack is nice, I guess, if you're going against a Stern or someone who hits you really hard. You want to nerf their attack, but if you're looking for magic attacks, an attack break just doesn't really do anything. So, second one, Ninja. I'm going to try to go over this quicker because, again, I think this is here for stats, to boost her agility, to boost her luck, to give her additional passives. But this kit, it's not unique. It's not particularly strong. It's not particularly special. It's got some extra range. So if you want to make her a pure DPS, sure, Shuriken and Doton and Poison Mist, longer range abilities where it can offset the Pugilist, but like, it's not what she's meant to do. Yeah. The Spellblade, clear cut favorite. Resist magic, 38% for AoE for allies, hugely important if you're going against magic teams, not only for Vinera but her teammates. Taunting spell here to proc the aggro, and then magic barrier, really important here. Reduces magic damage by 50% for 3 times. So this is, again, there's no other. I don't know who else you would fight against than a magic team, and what else you would put her on other than Spellblade. So we'll leave it at that. Other stats and info. This limit break's not bad. It's not great though. It's a selfish ability because it's an Earth Imperil, and to me it's really niche. Where if you're using a lot of Earth teammates, obviously this helps benefit them as well as Vinera. But unless you enhance the limit break and level it up, you're only getting 18% Imperil, in my opinion, and that's kind of low. It's going to increase Vinera's damage a little bit, and yes, it's got some range. So from a Pugilist standpoint, this helps. But the broad scheme of the game, this limit burst is okay. The TMR, again, also not bad, but the thing I hate about this, it's a hat. If this was an accessory, I'd fucking love it. I'd fucking love this if it was an accessory. My problem is, you can only equip one hat. You can equip 2 accessories, but only one hat or armor. So, yes, it's got some good HP. Yes, it's got a little bit of defense. I don't consider 8 a lot of defense. And 10 evade, not great. The Sage hat, which is another type of hat which you could be equipping, has 27 evade. So you're talking 27 to 10. That's a huge fucking disparity between the 2 different kinds of cloths. And the TMR skill, it's good in the fact that you get 2 casts out of it. That's rare for TMRs, but it's only for 1 turn. So, yes, you might move 1 extra for 1 turn so she can move faster across the field, but the increase of accuracy is only going to last 1 turn. So like, I guess hopefully you're already within striking distance and you use this, that you can actually hit someone, but that's only if you level this to max that it's going to be 70. Otherwise, it's a 30% accuracy buff, which is okay, but for TMR, I don't know. I think it being a hat makes it a big L, in my opinion. At Master Ability, it's okay. This is pretty standard for what we see now for same team synergies. Yeah. Vision card synergy. So to me, very few vision cards that actually benefit strike users that really enhance what they do. Either AKA strike attack or really do something special that makes them shine in a brawl, like a fight of sustain. So like maybe the golem card with extra HP or something that has a lot of I don't know what would help a lot of brawl. Healing up on a character so they can live longer. I don't know. Anyways, to me, Fenrir is my favorite card for her overall, but if you're running an evade comp, you're probably not going to have the opportunity to put this VC in there. Anyways, to say why, 50 dexterity is the equivalent of about 12% accuracy, so that's great. 4 agility, she's going to be even faster. Freaking awesome. Unit HP increase of 10% makes her bulkier. Magic resist up 20%. Not only makes her a better magic tank, but also hedges against your teammates taking increased magic damage from any kind of AoE they may encounter, which a lot of magic is AoE. So I love this card overall. This, to me, addresses all of her strengths and brings up all her weaknesses. The next one, I'm not even talking about Ifrit. I have it here because I think she needs to hit harder, so Ifrit can help that, but I don't have a strong case for that. Secrets to Heart is really the other one, where if you're running an evade comp, you need this card somewhere. And she's a good unit to have it because the Earth attack up really benefits her, where, if you have Secrets to Heart, you're debating Vinera or Stern, Christmas Vinera or Stern, you're going to want to put it on Christmas Vinera because she's going to get stronger attack off it. So yeah, there's that. And then on that, she's a pack mule character. I say that because since there's not a lot of cards that enhance her, you're going to be putting cards on that are going to help the team. So from that perspective, I can't really recommend a vision card because I don't know what your team is. So lots of options potentially. From an Esper's energy standpoint, kind of the same idea. Not a lot of Espers that really help strike units. There are some that can help magic tanks though. In particular, I know like Fenrir and Aegon are pretty decent choices. Between their magic resist, average agility, still you're not going to utilize all over their board. Like Aegon's got pierce resist and slash attack, but she can't slash, and the pierce resist. I'm sorry, Spellblade is technically slash, but I don't think that's going to be hitting that hard. Odin is obviously quick. It's got slash resist and missile resist, which will help her against some physical types. Then again, you're not going to run her against missile comps. That's a terrible idea. Don't do that. So doesn't really matter. Golem's not bad to bulk her up defensively to take some more physical attacks, and she can use a little loss in agility from this Esper because she's already got some extra. And then Titan obviously is already weak to wind, so this is dangerous to put on her against Leela's, but it does have wind resist on the board, so if you did want to go the SPR boosting route and wind resist, like, maybe viable, but overall, like, the Espers, none really shine in particular for it. It's dependent upon what you're trying to play against and what you already have. Equipment synergies, the Kaiser Knuckles, the Mithril Claws, bam, these are the options, that's it. In my opinion, the critical build for the Kaiser Knuckles are awesome. As you recall, Dexterity is trash. So, even though she has an accuracy boosting ability, that doesn't actually boost her Dexterity. So, from that perspective, this is going to allow her to be a smidge more bursty on occasion, hopefully proc that extra critical hit, which does 25% on the modifier, if I recall correctly. Yeah, and then the Mithril Claws, not bad, because I do like that it has 20% accuracy on it. So hypothetically, you could put this on here as an external source of accuracy rather than the passive, but you are trading a pretty significant amount of attack to do so. Where if you're downgrading from 180 or 144 to 81, that's kind of significant. Even if you're able to hit things with the accuracy 20, it's going to be less. To be fair, that kind of fits more the strategy of the tank, where you can equip two of the other passives that are going to help her, HP and luck or magic resist, and then she's going to hit less hard, but probably, I don't know. Whatever, it's your decision. It's really tough to talk out, but other than that, these three are kind of my favorites. So Smart Code I like, particularly magic resistance 8%, 21 SPR, so this is great as a magic tank. Sage's Hat will help her be competitive in an evade comp, not taking some damage, but obviously she still is going to take some. That's not bad. And Feeds Lucerna, underrated. The reason why I say that, 16 SPR, so it's good for magic. The slash resistance, although that's going to help her against some physical attackers, gotta recall, it's also going to help her against characters like Howlet and Ryryu, who do slash type damage, but it scales off their magic. So, Feeds Lucerna will technically help Vinera, tank those magic attacks from them a smidge easier. So there's a case to be made for this. But all in all, like I said, kind of a tough character to really fit in the broad scheme of the game. There's going to be a raid that's tailor-made for her called the Winter Flan, but you don't want to pull a character and invest all the UR shards and Vizior into her just for one raid. You know what I mean? That's not economical for most of the player base. If you're running an evade comp and you want to use her to counter some magic teams, perfect. That's great. But that's a really small slice of things. So overall, I'm glad they introduced something unique to the game. I'm not bashing Gumi for that. I think she's got a good place, and we'll obviously get some usage at more, I would say, the top levels of competitive play. But yeah. I think I've said all I need to say about her. So anyways, if you've pulled her and are enjoying playing with her, please obviously let us know. Good luck building her up. Good luck pulling for Victoria as well, if that's who you wanted. We got a lot of fun stuff coming in the game in the future, and looking forward to doing more reviews and talking to more of the community, get your feedback, and figuring out how to use these characters to their optimal capacity. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see y'all real soon.